Pat Fallon. Welcome back to Wake Up America. Thank you for being with us this morning. Now, before we dive in, let's talk again about yesterday's GDP dropping 0.9%. Now, this is dropping, showing a second consecutive fall, which is a recession. Yeah. That is the definition of a recession. How did we get to this point? How are we going to get out?
Well, Christina, Carl, thanks for having me on. Yeah, in the first quarter, our GDP dropped 1.6%, in the second quarter, 0.9%. And by every definition, that means we're in a recession, but not one the mainstream media wants to be apologists for the Biden regime. And you know what, Carl and Christina, if in 10 times this has happened since World War II, that we've had 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, and every single time before, it was a recession. So magically now, it's not. How do we get here? With massive trillions of dollars of spending injected into the economy, causing inflation. We have folks at the wheel that are either asleep at the switch or completely incompetent. They don't understand how to deal with the supply chain crisis. And they don't also understand when you inject a lot more money into the money supply, there's going to be a scarcity of goods and services, and the prices will go up, and the economy is going to suffer.
Yeah, shocking that this would happen under an administration that has 62% of the people managing the economy from the government that have no experience working in it whatsoever. Zero. But that didn't stop Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. She had an interesting take on the recession news after Wikipedia has closed down they're changing the definition on their website. It said, this report indicates an economy that is transitioning towards more stable, sustainable growth. We need to see a slowdown, and we are seeing that. Congressman, did they just make this stuff up as they go along? I mean, it doesn't show that at all, does it?
Did Janet Yellen, Carl, just say that the economy, it's a trans economy? I mean, what else is next? No, they don't even know what they're talking about. But I do know this, that Americans are making on average, every household is making on average $5,000 less. They're paying $2,000 more in gasoline. Gasoline year over year has gone up 60%. Remember, before Joe Biden took office, incidentally, the price of gas was $2.39 a gallon. Wouldn't that be wonderful? $2.39 a gallon. But, you know, energy's up 42%, and then staples like eggs are up 33%, coffee 16%, chicken, and I pretty much live on a steady diet of chicken sandwiches. That's up 19%, so that's personally hit me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, bacon is up 12%.
Carl's like steak.
You can't get, it's awful.
That's really my primary diet, bacon and steak.
I am really glad that you brought up talking about eggs, chicken, also the gas. I was going to also say gas was, when President Trump left office, was just at about $2.30, hitting above $5 now with Democrats in office. Let's talk about, you know, eggs. I was in the grocery store, I saw them for $6 the other day. I've never seen eggs as high as $6. Democrats got us into this crisis. They're in the White House right now. It's on them to get us out. Although most people like yourself aren't overly confident in their strategies. I saw that you just tweeted, quote, what do Democrats want to do? Spend over $700 billion and raise taxes. They're out of touch. Something's got to change. The way to get us out of this is not to raise taxes for people who already can't afford $6 for eggs.
Limited government. You know, why does Texas succeed? And people vote with their feet. That's why Texas is growing, even though California's got all the advantages of topography and weather and a beautiful ocean and all that. But people move to Texas because we have low taxes, limited government, reasonable regulation, and you have a chance to live the American dream. You know, there's a prosperity and there's promise to Texas. Texas is almost like a brand. Florida the same way. And they just don't get that. So what Joe Biden is doing now, and the Democrats, is they're tripling and quadrupling down and saying, you know what we'll do to get us out of this? We're going to raise taxes, and then we're going to spend another $433 billion when they've already spent trillions. That doesn't work. Unleash the private sector, cut taxes, and cut spending. In D.C., and Carl, you know this, never had a revenue problem. They have a spending problem.
Right. Well, and also $347 billion to subsidize, you know, green energy like Solyndra and stuff that worked out so swimmingly the first time.
Oh, green energy worked out well for a lot of these countries that are now literally their economies are crashing. But Congressman Pat Fallon, thank you so much for joining us. Coming up.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Christina.
APS Aircraft Operations Division right here in the Big Bend sector. We just came across